What's up, YouTube? Welcome back, guys. Back out at the lake. GNSS is recording 4082s, 180s for the Delta Force Twin Mono. Beautiful 75-degree day out here. Hope you guys are all doing well. I brought the boat back out because I really want to get a GPS reading on it, which I didn't do last time, and made a slight adjustment on the turn fins just to make them in the water a little more at speed. I was hoping that might help with the little wiggle that she has in the corners. And if not, if that doesn't help, then it's probably just a function of this boat being a twin mono and maybe a bit finicky at times in the turns. But as I said, last video, it's a very special boat to me, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. This is my first time. It's interesting because I built this boat, and I kind of touched on this last time, but I built it during COVID, and I would only run it at the old lake, which is like a smaller lake where this boat really could never really like stretch its legs at that old lake. And so now that I've got room for it, this is actually like the first time, even though I've had this boat and I've, ran it a ton, first time I've been able to like really open it up and actually see what this thing would do and hit turns at full speed and do big sweeping turns and stuff like that. So hope you guys are all doing well out there. Thank you for sticking with me. I know I took a little hiatus from the boating, but at least for now we're back and back with this boat. I do have the Animal Cat still. I've got the Pearl coming. I've got the Geico that I just got back from Texas that I have to show you guys with the chopped off back end. I've got one turtle, a couple big like carp, I think, out here, and not too much wind, which is not ideal for speed passes, but I'm just curious where it's at. I'm hoping for 70 plus. I haven't ran it on these props exactly. These are essentially M445s. They were, a pair of 447s detongued and reduced. You can kind of see them there. So they end up being basically 445s. But, all right, so far so good. Everything's copacetic. And, nice day, a little bit of chop. I think I guess I could do the pass going that way. Doesn't really matter, but yeah, let's just get right into it and see what she can do in a straightaway. Oh, beautiful. Something about a twin mono in the straights. It's just like a knife through butter. Here we go. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm gonna pull the GPS reading really quick and we'll get back into some laps. All right, well, full disclosure, that was 69 miles an hour. And there's definitely a 70 in there. So the boat did 73 on X447 Arcturas, which are slightly, as I said, beefier prop. So I do think that's probably in there. Also, I will say usually my second set of batteries, once the grease has kind of worn off a bit, the boat does get a little faster. And also, it's a super calm day. So I'm confident on the next set of packs, there will be a little more ripples out there on my next set of batteries, plus a little less grease, plus everything will have maybe some heat in it. And I'm hoping we can get a 70 today, which I think for all intents and purposes is fast enough. But this boat's done 76 on Geico props, and it's done 73 on 447 Arcturas. So let's see how she's doing some laps. Full trigger, boys. Full trigger. Little hook oversteer right there. Pushing her a little harder than last time out. Obviously in the straights, it's, this is all full trigger mostly, you guys. Obviously in the straights, it's very stable. Slight hook oversteer at times. The boat will kind of go from like an oversteer to a hook from an understeer to a hook oversteer. Kind of wants to dart around a little bit in the turns, but in the straights, pretty dead stable. Little oversteer there. Yeah, it kind of moves about a little bit in the turns, but oh yeah, nice little hop. So, you know, I could see how in race water with a bunch of other boats probably wouldn't be ideal, right? Just because of the turning tendencies where it'll want to skip around. I do think this is about as good as it's going to get for a twin mono. I've got a lot of time into this boat, and, you know, I do think we're nice left. Yeah, it skips around a little bit in the turns. It definitely skips around a bit in the turns, but never really does anything crazy where I feel like it's going to flip. Like, I feel like it's not always pretty, but I feel like I can just kind of give it hell and not really feel like it's gonna do anything too nuts. I'm gonna switch out the packs and we'll try and get a 70 out of her, and then yeah, we'll see what this thing does to the limit. Just have some fun and push it. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. Basically I did move the batteries back about 1/4 of an inch, and more than anything, I think we've got some heat in the electronics. Don't know for sure that does anything. I know batteries like a little bit of heat in them. But we also burned off some of the grease. And when I grease my boats, I tend to really just stuff them as much as I can with grease, because I know I'm going to run multiple batteries when I'm out here. And I want to make sure I'm not running dry, obviously. So, yeah, I'm thinking I got the GPS going, and just my spidey senses, if you will. Just my spidey senses. I have a feeling if I go down, loop around, if I go down to the end, make a nice loop around, and hammer it back for a nice long straight, I am very hopeful for 70 miles an hour. And let her eat. Okay. So let's see. We were close. We were at 69. And let's see what that one did. All right. That was 70 on the dot. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of just like hitting 70. That's like, for me, that's like the speed where I'm like, okay, it's fast enough. And it's more of just a mental thing for me where I want to go 70 in all my boats. But yeah, that's 70 with cool temps and, in my opinion, pretty long run time. And so no complaints there. I'm going to get a little bit higher here, and I'm going to throw you guys on 1x zoom, and you guys will have to let me know if you prefer like shoreline wide angle or up a little higher on the 1x zoom. The only thing is I got to remember to like turn my body with the boat for the neck mount. But let's see how she do. We're just going to run some laps and try not to flip it. But if it flips, well, whatever, you know. Slightly looser with this. Yeah, so you see right there, it's a little oversteer. So like right there, I felt like I could have used more steering. But then what happens is when it gets a little wave under it in the turns, see right there, it's oversteer. But then when it gets a little wave in it, it'll tend to want to understeer, or sorry, I can't speak, and it's oversteering and it's understeering and it will tend to want to oversteer once it goes over its own weight. Oh, okay, you guys saw that, right? Complete hook oversteer right there, which in a race could be catastrophic for the other boats that you're running with, right? I don't know if this... Let's just throw you guys back on wide angle so there's less of a chance that I end up missing this. Okay, so this twin mono, in my opinion, is probably one of the better behaved twin monos I've seen out there. I think I'm quite pleased with how this boat has turned out with the tuning and everything on it. And so I think for me, this is kind of a best case scenario where I would say a boat like this with that kind of hook oversteer tendency that you guys just saw. And again, that happens when the waves start getting bigger, right? But in my opinion, that kind of hook oversteer would probably make this boat not a good race boat. It's not something that I would probably feel comfortable. Not that I've ever raced or do race, but I'm just saying the unpredictability in a turn, in my opinion, would outweigh whatever benefits it has in a straight line over a single motor mono. Great attitude though. Ooh, there you go. There it goes. So you guys are seeing a little bit of hook oversteer. Let's call it that, if that's what it's called. And so it's a little bit of unpredictability, similar to my Decepticon, where it will tend to do weird things sometimes in turns. And so I would maybe venture to say that a twin mono might be great for sport use. What I'm doing right now, it's still fun and loud and fast, but probably not the boat you'd want to be racing with. I'm pushing it a little bit harder here just to kind of see. She's a wild ride. A lot of fun, tons of fun. And I do love the way it sings in a straight line with no lean, no torque roll. Yeah, it's a missile in a straight line, boys. But a little bit unpredictable at times in the turns. Honestly, I'm being nitpicky here. It's a killer boat, super fun, but I think a little bit unpredictable at times in the turns. If the water's glass, the boat doesn't seem to care. It just kind of hauls ass. But once the waves get rolling, every time the boat leaves the water, right, one of the props is kind of entering and exiting the water. And so it kind of does a shimmy in the turns. And I think that when you have a little air under the hull, the boat will want to jump and then it hooks, right? Because it leaves the water. And then when it comes back in the water, it grabs and wants to hook. So sometimes these handling tendencies on boats, you don't really realize them until you really start pushing them. Great water flow, cool temps. I'm very happy with the 70 miles an hour. It's only on Seaking 180s, which are not high-end speed controllers by any means. Most of my boats have Castle on them. Left turns, the thing totally gets out of the water. It's kind of fun. Yeah, just kind of barrel rolls. Look at that. It's a really fun boat just to... Oh, look at that. Kind of buries the nose. Woo! Okay. That was a nice little up close and personal splash. Oh, that was LEC. Okay. Probably took it a little too far there. I was getting a little excited. Hit LVC on one of the sides. But, yeah, this thing, I gotta say, as you start really pushing it, which this is my first time really pushing it, you do start to see some less desirable handling tendencies, I will say. But for a sport boat that I'm just running solo with, I'm pretty pleased, you guys. And honestly, I think if I got some bigger turn fins, the weird stuff in the turns might even get a little better. But all things considered, You know, you'll probably hear mixed opinions on twin monos, and I will say, crazy fun. Probably, you know, I will say that the twins are going to be quite a bit heavier than the singles, so you're going to be carrying more weight. Twins are more efficient because obviously each side is doing half the work. I kind of feel like in a hot lap, if the sniper was going the exact same speed, I kind of feel like this could, you know, running solo, I kind of feel like this could hang with the sniper. I mean, they're both, sniper's a little faster, of course, but yeah, every now and then a little weird in the turns, right? As you guys saw, I tried to kind of demonstrate that a little bit of smoke. Likely just grease. Let me get you guys in focus. Likely just grease. GPS in here. The wires get a little hot, so probably, let's see, I don't have my temp gauge, but nothing's warm. Motors are fine. ESCs are, little warm. I mean, ESCs are probably what, 120, 130. Not hot by any means, honestly. Batteries 110-ish. Obviously, I'm totally guessing, you guys, but I have a decent idea of what's like, oh shit, hot, and what's like just lukewarm from normal use. And I should probably unplug the thing. But I gotta say, super fun boat. Maybe one of my more enjoyable mono hulls to run, B hulls. Just kind of does some quirky stuff, but for a sport boat that you're just sport using, I don't think it really matters, you guys. I think you just got to have fun with it and enjoy it for what it is. We got 70 miles an hour out of it on these. Like I said, they are roughly 445 Octuras. Nothing special. Inward rotating. Yeah, you guys, I got nothing to hide. Hold on one second. Okay, so bottom is fully blueprinted. Did this about 4 years ago. Blueprinted and painted. Trim tabs are pretty much neutral, meaning that a ruler along the bottom, there's no angle on them. Drives are as close together as possible. You can see that. That's really the only way a twin mono is going to be able to turn at all, is with the drives real close together. And you can see with 45 series props, we just have a little bit of gap between the two, and holy smokes, look at all that play. Oh wow, look at that. Yeah, and all right, this is an interesting moment, I guess. Okay, so you can see the grease. Get you focused here. You can see the grease splooging out. You've got a lot of play in the drive here, so that was not helping while I was running. No grease out of this one. And if you look, the thing I don't like about these Speedmaster drives at all is the play is actually at this nut. So look at that. So my thinking is that none of the adjustment screws, right, all this up here is fine. None of the adjustments themselves came loose. This is play in the ball end and the screw. And I had that same issue with my Decepticon, and it kind of, honestly, I think I said in that video I probably wouldn't be buying Speedmaster Stingers anymore, and that's exactly why. Love Speedmaster. I love their rudders. Great, made in America, stainless hardware. No complaints. But their Stingers, in my opinion, are an inferior design to the TFLs, which have a better adjustment style to them. You know, this is the way that there's so much leverage, right? Because all the adjustment is right here at the start. Then you've got these long Stingers. You've got a lot of leverage, right, on that one adjustment point, and just one little screw doing the adjustment. Whereas the TFLs, I think you can crank them down and actually get them to lock in without even using the adjustment screw. I think they're a much newer, updated, in my opinion, better design. But again, this boat's getting older, so no regrets. This is just what is on the boat, and this is the same experience I had on my Decepticon with Speedmaster Stingers. Anyways, I'm rambling, you guys. Thanks for kicking it with me today. Beautiful day out here, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.